It would be hard to imagine that giving support over teleconferencing would work. When we talk about postpartum work, we always talk about how it takes a village to raise a child and how the community support is so important, and having someone next to you during this time is so important, whether it's a family member or a postpartum doula holding the baby when you want to take a nap, or showing you ways to calm a baby, or helping you out in the house. So if you would have told me some time ago that postpartum doulas could work while teleconferencing, I would have thought that's outrageous. But surprisingly, with the new shelter-in-place guidelines, I have been finding myself supporting families that way, and it has actually worked. I am able to show them breastfeeding positions. I am able to look in their eyes and ask how they are doing. I am able to show them how to calm a baby. So surprisingly, it has been working, but it's very different than before. So I've had the privilege of supporting a couple of families during this shelter-in-place period, and one of the families I actually began working with before the shelter-in-place began, and I had been to their home for a few visits, and then this new guidelines came out, and I continued supporting them through Zoom calls. The other family gave birth practically on the day that we got the order to shelter in place. I texted them and I said, I'm sorry, I can't come to the hospital, but we immediately went on a FaceTime call. Usually I do visit couples at their hospital, and we started talking, and I realized that they had a tear, and I suggested that they talk to the hospital about taking a sitz bath when they go home. I also talked to them about a really good herb solution that I would use in the sitz bath, and they were able to order it. And then we immediately got on a call. We did a breastfeeding session while we were on the call, and then I asked them to grab a lactation consultant and continue the work from there, and it actually surprisingly worked really well. So breastfeeding support has actually been really interesting for me. I have found myself using the props that I would usually use in teaching breastfeeding classes to expectant families, which I have with me anyway, and I've been using them throughout my calls with moms. I have a boob that I use, and I have a little baby. She doesn't have a name, but she's my companion, and I hold her throughout the call, and I do the same throughout the classes that I teach. And I've been able to do anything from latching the baby to holding position, side lying. Then I move on to talking about pumping. I have a little handheld pump, so I can show kind of the structure of the pump and how that works. And I even have a little bottle. These are all props that I use in my classes, and I am able to show how to paste bottle feed. So I've been journeying with this family throughout, from the first day on, using teleconferencing, using my props, talking about everything, lying on my bed, showing them how to side lie, and while breastfeeding, holding the baby as they would be. And things have been going really well. I always follow up all of my calls with links and videos to show them exactly how that works. And then throughout the week, we text and we talk on the phone, even if we don't have official Zoom calls. And we've had great success with that. The importance of having a doula hasn't really changed, and I actually think that it's even greater than before. Having a trusted person to be able to connect with on an ongoing, regular basis with small and big things, whether it's sleep pattern. The other day I got a text from the mom I was working with. Her baby seemed to have had what looked like terrible dandruff in their hair, and that's what's called cradle cap. And I was immediately able to point her to that, tell her what worked for other families that I've worked with, show her some links, and just save her the digging deep into Dr. Google and finding all sorts of irrelevant things, and just having a continuous person to reach out to celebrate that he gained so many ounces in so many days and the doctor said that he's doing great, or he's had a day where he slept all day long and what does that mean. So somebody to walk along with you and check up and see how things are going, so that you're not just Dr. Googling everything or having to go to ER or your doctor for unnecessary reasons. I would like families to know that we, the doula community, are eager to support you. We have more times on our hands than we used to before. We still meet the doula community on a regular basis. We also do Zoom calls amongst ourselves, and we are very passionate about the work that we do. And we are very eager to support family in these very lonely days where everyone is just sheltering in place and have very little access to resources. A lot of us are doing Zoom calls. Some are actually still going for home visits if that works for their family and the family that they're working with. We have a lot of information and we would like to walk the journey with you and celebrate everything and launch you off to a really good beginning with a tiny bit of help on our end.